Hey, somebody requested me to do a review of Superman the movie. I think it's kind of all of the four of them. So I'll kind of review those all, but it'll be mainly one that I'm going to be reviewing. But one quick update before I do this review. For the Get Smart show, I got cast as Agent 44. That's the part where the guy's usually hiding somewhere. Kind of a comic relief in a comedy is what it is. I'm really cartoony. And it's not a pretty big part, but it's just a lot of fun. So that's my part for that show. Moving on to the review. Superman the movie. This will be number one. I think that movie is perfect. I think it's I mean Christopher Reeve. I don't even want to talk about Christopher Reeve just because he's just so perfect as Superman. He's the perfect Superman. And I'm not going to really review him just because he's perfect. But I thought the first movie was great. I watch it every now and then still. Funny thing is, I didn't like the first one as much when I was younger. Because, for one, it was kind of boring at the beginning because, it was just like on Krypton. And Superman wasn't really in the movie until like the second act. But now I like it. It's my favorite one. But when I was little, I didn't like it because of that. And also because when Lois dies and he screams, and when he screams, that scared me too much, and I never wanted to watch it. But yeah, that's my favorite one. It's kind of hard to review the first Superman movie just because it's very... it's like reviewing any movie like that. It's like reviewing The Dark Knight. It's just really hard to review just because it is good, and there's really not much you can say about it just because there's so many... I could go on for days about how good it is. So I'm just going to say that's my favorite Superman movie out of the new one, or the old ones. Character-wise, I think Margot Kidder was... she was a good choice. She was a good character. She had the part of Lois down. She didn't really look the part. She was kind of odd, but she fit the part good. Didn't like Jimmy. They didn't really mess with Jimmy. They didn't act lazy, but they just never really touched on Jimmy in the older movies. And Perry was good. Not really much else I can say. I didn't like Gene Hackman. He was too comedic. I actually really prefer Kevin Spacey. But yeah, he was I thought he was a little too comedic for his his part. I think it's just because and he also didn't he had that wig on the entire time. It was his real hair, but like they said he had a wig on the entire time, which kind of just took away the purpose of what Lex Luthor looks like, and I just didn't like that. But yeah, that's it for Superman, the first movie. Superman 2, I thought was kind of the same as like the Halloween movies. By the way, happy Halloween. It's kind of the same as like the Halloween movies. Halloween 1 and 2 I kind of consider as the same movie just because it takes place right after. Superman 2 doesn't take place right after, but it takes place around like really close, and it kind of just seems I put them together. Superman 2, I didn't like the Fortress of Solitude part where not really like him getting rid of his powers, really the part with Zod and them fighting Superman in the Fortress of Solitude, and they're doing that warp thing, and then Superman throws the S at him. I didn't really like that because it just kind of didn't. It was kind of random and didn't fit, and you don't know where they got that power to do it. And just it was starting to get a little different, and I never really, I don't know, I didn't really connect with it as much, but I like it almost just as much as the first one. So yeah, I really enjoyed Superman 2 too, but it was just I think I watched that one more than I watched the first one when I was younger, just because it was more Superman. So I kind of remember that one a little more than the first one as a kid. Superman 3, I think was I didn't see it actually. I still haven't seen the entire film of Superman 3. I've seen the first like 30 minutes, and then I just never finished it. People talk about how Superman 4 was the one that killed the franchise. That couldn't have been possible because Superman 3, even though it made the money, it people still paid the money before they saw the film. Remember, you don't pay the money after you see the film. And they just assumed that it'd be like Superman 1 and 2, and it wasn't as good, but they already paid their money, so they already count that money. So the people who loved Superman 1 and 2 came and saw Superman 3, but it wasn't as good, so they didn't come see Superman 4 because Superman 3 was so bad. So you can't say Superman 4 was the one that killed the franchise, even though that Superman 4 is probably worse than Superman 3. In my opinion, I don't think it is, but most people's opinion, it is. So, yeah, I haven't really seen that one. I've never had interest in it. I've never really, I never got into it. I didn't like the going back to Smallville, really. I didn't really like any of that. Superman 4, Superman 4 is has a kind of a special place for me personally, because, when I was little, that was the movie my parents put in for me to watch. Superman 4 was. I watched Superman 4 more than any of the other Superman movies. Mainly because it was so kind of corny, and it wasn't as dark. The other ones aren't dark at all either, but I mean, this one was just ridiculous, and when you watch it as a kid, you love it. It was just like Batman and Robin. I loved Batman and Robin when I was little. When I was little, because I didn't understand. I just wanted to see the superheroes fight. I never understood the backstory. Now it's different, of course, but so Superman 4 wasn't. I always really enjoyed watching that one as a kid. If I haven't watched it forever, but if I watched it again, I probably wouldn't like it as much as I did when I was little, just because I would understand it better now. But yeah, it was my favorite growing up. And with that sun guy fighting Superman, how was a guy kind of like Superman fighting? I thought that was pretty cool too. And they go and fight on the moon. And now that I see it, I'm like, oh, that's really bad. But when you're little, you don't know, And so I really liked that one to be honest. I think Superman 1's the best, then Superman 2, and then in my opinion Superman 4, then Superman 3. But I don't even count Superman 3 and 4 in the Superman movies really anymore. Just because I don't. Yeah, I just don't. But that's pretty much my review of the Superman movies. I'm doing it kind of quick. I'm not really, it wasn't really a review that I could really say much, just because, like I said, it's just, those movies have been talked about so much, it's hard to say anything new and different about them. There's really not much to say about them. So that's pretty much it about my Superman reviews, and see you later.